Oh my goodness, we're all in a little stack here. I guess we can end this Zorn first. I don't honestly feel like fighting all those other guys, so maybe once we kill the Zorn, we can move up and just leave. I think in dungeons you don't have to worry about killing all the enemies in every room. I think you can kind of get away with running away from a battle, because I don't think it counts against you. I'm just gonna try to shoot this Cyclops that's right beside me. Okay, this might take a while at this rate. We're just all spreading out. Okay, now we just need to run for it. Go, little buddies. I'll leave this treasure behind. Okay, holy smokes, that was an intense room. Oh, and we're poisoned again. How does this keep happening to us? There you go, bud. Okay, so we are still on the 6th floor here. And there are some fights to be fought. Apparently 3 rounds of trolls. Hang on, let me get rid of these guys. Okay, finally, we have vanquished those 3 rounds of trolls. And we found another set of steps. Okay, so this puts us down to the 7th floor. And our light's kind of weird. I wonder if it's just because it's such a bright open room. Now let's use a gem here and take a look. Okay, so this also seems to just be a repeating room. That doesn't really look like it goes anywhere. Like if we keep going up, it just keeps repeating. If we go east or west, it just keeps repeating. The only thing I guess we should check to see is if we might be able to get into that square, like that dark black square, to see if there's a way in or if there's any secret switches. But otherwise, I guess we'll head down that other set of steps that it looks like that's right over here. So that would be right on our left here. And so far, it doesn't look like there's anything there. We're going to have to cast light again. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't look like we can get into that little square. So, I guess we're going to fight some insects first. But then after that, we're going to go down the steps. I guess to the 8th floor, potentially. Maybe they don't go to 8, but I'm assuming. I think steps that are black go down and steps that are blue go up. But I might be mistaken. I'm always surprised. I can never quite keep that straight. I guess blue to the sky, black to the depths, perhaps. Okay. Ooh, okay, so we got lots of poison here. So, I guess we can dispel some of these fields. There we go. And doesn't this room look familiar, you guys? Do you remember being here? So let's have a look at the map. That's not what I wanted to do. I always do this. Okay. Use equipment. Gem. Okay. So how this goes is there's nowhere else to go from here. The 8th floor and the basement of a lot of these areas tends to connect to other altar rooms. And you'll see there's kind of like 3 small checkered areas on the map, and each one of those goes to a separate altar at the bottom, and they connect with all of the different dungeons. And I think that this specific dungeon is unique in that case, because I know that other dungeons only connect to 2 others, whereas this one seems to connect to them all. So what we can do is always come here and potentially just have access to all of the other dungeons if we need to, without having to actually search for them on the surface. The only thing is that we'd have to search them from the bottom to the top. Now you might also be asking, well, how come we didn't find a stone in this dungeon? And we know that 2 of the stones were trapped in different areas that were not in dungeons. And I know that this one in particular does not contain a stone. So I think that this one would be maybe the black stone. or the white stone. I'm not entirely sure. One of the two. But those are not found inside. It's the other ones that are found inside of dungeons. All to say that we're pretty much done exploring this. We could dispel all these areas to access the altar room, but I don't think that it would be worthwhile in terms of expenditure of assets, right? So here we are for the moment. The only thing that we need to do is dispel this one room, or this one tile right ahead of us, so that we can actually get out. And if you recall, these are the stairs that we took at the very beginning that bring us back up to the first floor. Now you'll remember that part of Landry's warning was that if we went this way, we wouldn't be able to get out the same way that we came, which is true. Because if we cast exit, we're definitely not going to end up back at Lord British's castle. And to get out of here, that's pretty much what we have to do unless we want to ascend through one of the other 7 dungeons. So let's just go ahead and do that. We'll cast exit. And we're outside now. And let's have a shocking look at actually where we are. Because the first time I did this, I was a little afraid. So check this out. This is a place where we've never been before. And it looks all ominous and full of lava. And looks like there's a terrible volcano over there, which one can only assume is a terrible place. But the other problem is we're on an island. And which island? Nobody knows. So anyways, yeah, there is actually a silver lining to this. We can't escape by boat. You can see that there's that light blue water all the way around the shoreline where we're located. But conveniently and thankfully, if we head over here, check this out. Remember the time that we were looking for that lighter than air device? And we heard that it would be found near the entrance to Hythloth? So this is confirmation that where we just were was Hythloth. And if we head back into this cave, too, you can see that we're in the dungeon Hythloth. But look at this, we're in a totally different area than where we came up from. And look, there's another orb, which I'm not touching, by the way. No, thank you. So yeah, I guess what we can do now is actually head into our balloon and see where it takes us. Now, what's fun about the balloon is that it actually just drifts on its own. So if I try to change the direction of this, it says drift only. So the only way that you can change the direction of this balloon is to cast a wind change spell. And we do have some reagents to do that. Oh, look at this. Huh, that must be the shrine, I'm guessing, of humility. Because I've never been down here. I didn't see that last time I drifted directly west. But anyways, the wind change spell consists of sulfurous ash and blood moss. So we could make some of those if we want, or we can just go for a little trip and see where we go. So really, whatever direction the wind says that it's going, we're going in the opposite direction. So right now the wind's traveling east, so we're getting pushed to the west instead. So eventually we're gonna run into some kind of landmass. It's just a question of which landmass. Oh, what are ya? Well, there's that thing in the middle of the ocean that we stumbled upon. Oh, what's this? Oh, I guess we don't get to know. I see. It would be so amazing if we just spontaneously ended up back at Britain. At least we're not using too much food. This might be the way to travel, you know. Instead of boating, we can just grab a balloon and head out to wherever we like. Oh. Come on, stick me on land. You can do it. No. We're gonna end up on land sooner than later. This is looking quite promising. Aha! Check that out, you guys. Look at this. We're right by Lord British's castle. How much better could that have possibly gone? Okay. Well, let's go and see our good friend and see what he has to say to us after this adventure going through the back door of his castle. I'd like to know what's up with Lord British. Like, who is he and why does he have a passageway to a dungeon attached to his castle? I don't know. I have questions. I need answers. Alright, let's see what he says. Alright, so we got some levels, Shimino and Mariah. And we're going to get some health here. Some healing. All right. So we've made it out unscathed. I don't feel like we are much further ahead than we were, simply because we don't have an additional stone. But we did get the balloon, which means that we can go a-sailing around Serpent Spine and see if we can find that white stone somewhere. But yeah, I guess the other information that we obtained was that we can go back to Hythloth at any time from this location, giving us easy access to all 8 of the dungeons if we do search around on the surface and can't manage to find them. But I do think a good thing to do, as usual, is to go and see Hawkwind and see if we've actually gotten any additional virtues. So let's see. What do you have to say? So we can ask him about honesty, spirituality, and sacrifice. So let's see what's what. Okay, so continue to be honest. We're not quite there yet. Sacrifice? Nice. So we are giving and good. Our self-sacrifice is great. Seek now elevation. So that's cool. We can definitely do that. And how about some spirituality? Not quite yet. Okay, well, at least that means that we can definitely go and seek elevation in sacrifice. So we can go and find that shrine at any time. So we can just make that blue as a reminder. And yeah, that's about that. What other paths? None, thank you. All right. Well, I guess a good bet might be to go and handle our sacrifice shrine and then maybe try to find some other dungeons on the surface. Maybe go have a look for that white stone. I don't know. There's a couple of things that we could do. So let's go over to Mynock and we'll take the moon gate over that way. Mynock will be very close to the Shrine of Sacrifice, which we can go and achieve some elevation at. And while we're over in that general direction, it might be a good idea to go and get some more mandrake root, because why not? We'll be right over in that general vicinity, and it's not that we don't have a lot of mandrake, but we'll always need more mandrake, right? We only have 3 of them. So let's go and do that. So I'll see you guys when we get over to Mynock. All right, so here we are. Now, to get to where we need to go, we're eventually going to have to go kind of eastward. But for the time being, let's try to find that little swamp patch. Okay, we're going to try to avoid the serpent because we don't want to fight the serpent. Although I think the serpent's going to want to fight us. But anyways, this is our swamp patch that we've covered up with that chest to make sure that we don't run into any terrible situations with poisoning ourselves. And I think what'll be a good idea is to just search for some mandrake root. So that will involve waiting until we have 2 new moons and then searching this spot over and over again in hopes that it's going to give us what we're after. I think though we should try to maybe run away from these serpents in the meantime. And look at that, we got poison anyway. So running from non-evil creatures obviously doesn't decrease our valor at all. But yeah, I'm gonna finish fighting all of these people that just keep rushing us and then look for some mandrake root. So I'm not gonna make you guys sit there and wait for me to get through all of those moon phases, but hopefully I'll see you guys after I've managed to collect a little bit of that. Alright, well, we have gotten our hands on quite a few mandrake now. We are up to 30. We had 3 to start, so I think that that's a good place to quit for now. So the sacrifice shrine should just be kind of east of us. So we're going to have to cross a little land bridge between the 2 big land masses at the very northeastern portion of the landmass that we're on. And I think the Shrine of Sacrifice is just right out by a little lake, if I recall the description. Yeah, it says in my notes, on a lake east of Mynock. So we're going to head there next and achieve, I guess, the what'll it be? Our 5th part of our avatar hood, which will be awesome. And hopefully, by the time we find another dungeon and make our way back out, buy some new reagents for that, we're going to be good and ready to actually go and get some honesty elevation, and hopefully too by that point, after meditating at some more shrines, we'll be ready for some spirituality as well. So here is the shrine, lo and behold, at a lake in the middle of this little land mass here, so we can jump right in there. We're at the Shrine of Sacrifice, and so our mantra for this particular area is Ka. It's C-A-H. So we're going to select the Shrine of Sacrifice. We'll meditate for 3 cycles. And when prompted, we're going to put in our mantra. Alright, so we have achieved partial avatarhood in the virtue of sacrifice. And again, our little symbol beneath our party list has changed. We've gained a little bit more of what's quickly becoming a pretty clear picture. But yes, here is our vision. It always looks like the cactuar from Final Fantasy. Most notably for me in Final Fantasy 12 when they just wreck you with their 1000 needles. But anyways, I'm going to take a quick second and just jot this down and then we'll continue on. Alright, so I have written down the shape of that little spot there. And I think a good other little place to go while we're out this way might be back to Vesper, just to go to the guild shop. We did use quite a few gems in Dungeon Hythloth, so it might be a good plan to get some more of those if possible. And we're right here, so why wouldn't we go? Okay, so let's actually take a quick look at how many of those we have. We have 32. Probably be best if we had more. More is always better with this type of thing, especially if we're going to be going a searching on the surface to see if we can find some new dungeon entrances too. So he says, "Avast ye mate, sure ye wishes to buy from old Long John Leary? And welcome to the guild shop. Like to see my goods? Yep, much better than One-Eyed Willie." So we're gonna get some gems, and we can get, what do we have, 32? We'll get a few rounds of the gems here. So we have 42. We'll get a little closer. We'll get 50 just to be safe. Perfect. And how are we doing for other reagents? I guess it's a good idea just to take a quick look. So spider silk we could stand to have more of. We did say that we were going to go get that at Moonglow at some point. And we should also round out the rest of our reagents as well, back up to 99 and make some new spells. And all of that good stuff. I don't think, let me just check our to-do list. I don't think we had anything to do at the Vesper pub. So I guess a good plan would be to maybe head over to Moonglow. And from there, we can always go and get some new reagents. And then maybe try to go and get that white stone on top of Serpent Spine. Now that we have the lighter than air device, it shouldn't be too... I say that. It shouldn't be too hard to get there. But it's actually quite challenging with the Master System's interface to be able to get that white stone. And I'll explain why when we get there. Oh good, there is a little bridge here. I was hoping for that. Is it up here that Minoc? Or the Moon Gate is anyway. Oh, look at this. We'll go here. we'll go to Trinsic, and that's going to bring us nice and close back to Britain. So I'm going to run away from this orc for a little while. And then when I get back out that way, toward our balloon, actually, we'll do that first before going to Moonglow. We'll go and try to get that white stone off of the top of Serpent Shrine. Or Serpent Spine, I should say. Alright. So, this balloon is like the bane of my existence. And one of the things that we're going to actually need to do is make some wind change spells, which we currently have none of before we start this process. So let's go ahead and mix some of that up. So wind is right here. And the wind change spell requires sulfurous ash and blood moss. So we're going to mix sulfurous ash and blood moss. We're going to mix those together, and I guess we can make 20 of these. Alright, so Serpent Spine is located kind of wrapping around where Britain and Lord British's castle is to just the north. So it's this kind of snake-shaped mountain range that we need to be able to traverse using the balloon. So usually when you get near mountains, your kind of field of sight around you is limited. And the balloon, when you're in it, it keeps that wide open for you. So the thing about the balloon, though, as we learned when we left Dungeon Hythloth, is that it just makes you drift. So pretty much what we need to do is get into the balloon and try to manipulate the winds to push us towards Serpent Spine. So, yeah, it's a lot harder than it seems. And we're already going the wrong way. So let's get out our magic here. Let's try to do our wind spell, and we're always going to push our winds in the opposite direction. So we're going to try to get ourselves, oh, well then, west and north of where we are. Hopefully we don't need to make too many more wind spells. So we'll try to go west. Oh good, we're going north all on our own. The game doesn't seem to want to let us to go west though. Now if only we could go west and then a little north, we would be fine. We've essentially just been floating around Britain this entire time. Okay, come on man, holy smokes. We're gonna have to make some more winds. I'm gonna try going west from down here. And hopefully this is gonna help us to be able to get far enough west to then go north. I don't actually know how far west we need to go, but this seems good enough. Oh, we're already going north all on our own. Alright, so hopefully we'll continue to go north until we can make it up to Serpent Spine, which should be, I think, directly north of where we are. Aw, winds are calm. We were on such a good pace. If winds go calm, you just sit still, because there's nothing to blow you around. Now, this is not the mountains I want. We're actually very far. We're kind of up close to, south of Empath Abbey, kinda, right now. Okay, so east should now bring us to Serpent Spine, and this is where things get complicated. Hopefully we can get there. Alright, so these mountains that we're starting to see might be Serpent Spine. So we gotta go south. Yeah, here we go. Oh, perfect. So we're going west now. We might need to go south, actually. Oh, and see that little spot there? That's where we need to actually go. Oh, crap, I missed it by 1. So we're gonna have to search that square, because you can't land on it. I really hope that we have enough MP. Oh yeah, Mariah definitely does. And hopefully we can luck out and get some calm winds when we get over in that general direction. Okay, so we're going to try to cast winds north. Ah, we missed it by 1. Okay, hang on. Magic. Stay in this trajectory. Oh my goodness. Winds. We're going to go south again and we're going to get ready to search. Hopefully we don't get off course. Oh my goodness. Cast spell. I wish I knew exactly which row we need to be in. Okay, let's hope that we're going to be able to do this. Okay, get ready to search. There we go. Holy hell. So we got the white stone. Finally. I'm getting the hell out of this balloon. Alright, so after that big rigmarole of fighting the good fight, we now have, finally, the white stone. Oh my goodness. Alright, so I'm going to abandon my balloon there. And hopefully I don't forget where it is, but Serpent Spine seems like a good spot to go and look for it. Wow, that was kind of crazy. I'm just going to save my game before we actually continue on, so that we never have to do that again. Alright, let's fight this orc. I think after that I'm going to go in, talk to Lord British, and then maybe what we could do before we start looking for new dungeons is actually track down Mondane's skull, because we did speak with Jude, and Jude did tell us a specific location to go and look for it, so we might as well jump in our boat and go ahead and try that out. So yeah, I'm gonna finish fighting this, and after that we'll go and do that. Alright, so something else that's important is that we have just leveled up to level 8, and what that means for us is that we can actually recruit our 8th party member, which is Katrina, back in Magencia. So while we are on our boat quest, out and about, we might as well try to swing over that way and pick Katrina up on the way back. So, for the moment though, let's go a-boatin'. I'm just gonna save my game again, because I'm always nervous before going out to sea. The seas are so treacherous. And so the location of the skull is just at PFMF here. So we're gonna have to use our sextant in order to maneuver the seas. But basically, I think it's down near that terrible island where we found our balloon and then floated back up in this general direction. So we kind of have to go southeast from here. So our boat is at 99 HP, and we're just gonna try to get out that way. And we can check our sextant along the way to see how we're doing. And there's our nice little town of Paws here. If we run into Magencia on the way, we might as well go there, but I don't think that that'll be the case. Alright, let's check our sextant. That's not what I wanted to do. I never picked the right one. So our sextant here says that we are at latitude IO, longitude MP. So we need to go to PF and MF. So essentially, we need to go a lot further south, and I guess we went too far east. So MP, so we should go... I can't count the alphabet backwards, but we're gonna go back this way a little bit and just continue south, and we should get there in a jiffy. Alright, so here we are at these terrible little islands. So we're gonna use our sextant again, so we're at PEMB. So it looks like we'd have to go into that little shallow area. So PF. So we have to go down 1 to be at PF, and then MF. So we're at B. Oh, get back in your boat. So C, D, E, F, and then F. So it should be right here. And we have to search on the darkest night as well. So that's the other stipulation. So we need to actually wait for the 2 new moons. So I'm just going to let the moon gates coast by us. And when we get closer, we'll jump back in. Alright, so we're getting pretty close to the 2 new moons. And so we're just going to search the square as soon as we get there. Alright, so we have the Skull of Mondain the Wizard, which we have been told is an item of ultimate power, but negative power, because Mondain was one of the bad guys from one of the first 3 Ultima games, and I don't recall which at the moment. I think the first one, because it was Mondain, Minax, and Exodus. Maybe not in that order that were the bad guys. But anyways, so we've got now this skull. It's now in our inventory. If we go to items here, you can see it's at the bottom, which is horrifying because I would really not want to accidentally use the skull. From what I understand, it actually causes you a lot of issues, and it really kind of saps away a lot of the virtues that you worked on. So that's no good for nothing. Oh, this isn't all that far east of these other little islands where Serpent's Hold is. I didn't realize that it was so close. I'm surprised we didn't find that sooner. So now I think what we should try to do is, like I said, go to Magincia and pick up Katrina, because we are out at sea anyway. Hopefully we don't run into any terrible troubles along the way. I have this really bad habit of coming out of places and forgetting to save my game and going out to sea and then almost getting sunk. So yeah, that's what I mean by terrible things at sea. But Katrina should be pretty easy to snag. We know exactly where she is. And the other thing that we need to do when we do go to Magincia is talk to Faultless, the ghost. We missed him the first time. He looked like all the other ghosts, but we do need to ask him about the mantra, essentially, of humility, or of pride, I guess. So we'll get that little piece of information as well. Now, I don't exactly know where Magincia is from the direction that we're approaching, so we might actually run into, like, Britain or something soon. Where is this? Okay, so we have made it to Buccaneer's Den by accident. So while we're here, we might as well go back to the reagent shop here and actually get ourselves some more black pearl, because why not? But first, to fight the Balron. Okay. If we need any. Yeah, we need some. Let's get some of that. We need about 20 of them. And they're pretty cheap here. Yes, I am in need of reagents, thank you. I'll get some black pearl, please. And we're gonna pay her 20 bucks. Cool. More honesty for us. Everything else at this place is super expensive, so we might as well not bother. It might just be more worthwhile to take a moon gate to Magincia, because we don't have a ton of food. And I don't want to wander the oceans endlessly and risk impending doom. So let's go and take a moon gate there instead, just for my peace of mind, so that we don't end up getting accidentally obliterated. So I'm going to go back to Britain, hop in the moon gates, and try to get there in a timely fashion. See you in a sec.